So normally I would, do my normal thing where I talk about the game a bit first, but I have to open with back-to-back dub-dubs from Destiny Thomas.
Yeah.
This is that beast mode we keep hearing about, right?
Yeah, beast mode. Yeah, what did she have? Did she have double-double? Good.
Yeah.
Good job, Desto. I mean, I think she's really coming in to who she wants to be as a player. I mean, she just, she saw Moss had, got those 2 quick fouls. So in Destiny's mind, she's a big-time competitor, So I think she knew that she had to really step up for Moss. But I think if we can continue to get her to play like this, I mean, she's really unstoppable. And then she was hitting some outside shots today. So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask about that too. Like earlier on there, the game early was certainly a bit of a scrap, and Destiny seemed to be getting pretty aggressive on offense. I mean, is that just more confidence throughout the year, season, career, what have you? And how cool would that be to have that in the tournament?
Yeah, and we knew that they were going to double and crowd our posts on the low block strong side, and so we were trying to kind of move them around, and they've been, in position shooting stuff, just really shooting a lot of high post shots, and we're telling them to shoot it more, because if we get more spacing and people can hit some outside shots, that really helps us.
Speaking of hitting outside shots, Tulsa did their share. They kind of kept themselves in the game. Yeah. What was kind of they kind of went cold later too. Was there a bit of a spark in the defense, or was there kind of a strategy change on your part? How did you guys finish strong?
I mean, I think that it was. I think what really hurt us in the first 2 quarters, not necessarily just the third, but the first 2 quarters, is that we couldn't press, because we were pressing and they were kicking it out and getting wide open shots, and so that's a kudos to Mayberry. I mean, she's very hard to press and very hard to get in traps, and she was kicking stuff out, and so we couldn't press, and so then we had to guard them in the half court, and they do a good job of just moving the ball, throw it into the high post, and then they just all space out and shoot threes. I think they got maybe a little tired at the end, from playing the whole game and, us pressing the ball and stuff. So that, that could have been it, but they still got off 26 threes. That's a lot of threes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you guys like basketball. Everybody shoot threes.
Well, I mean, you mentioned that too, but here we are with post players as your top again. You got two double doubles. Brett had the other one tonight, and being able to step up with Mosny, getting in early foul trouble, obviously a big deal there too. But we had talked on Saturday a bit, what the purpose of this game was, and both you and Diamond had said to kind of focus in. Does having that scrap in the first half kind of help with that focusing in for the tournament that you were talking about?
The scrap? What do you mean?
The close score.
Oh, well, I don't know. It's just such a high coming off that game against Cincinnati and everything that had, that's. So practice was like, oh my God, come on, and I get it, I mean, I think that happens to a lot of teams. It just happened to be that game, last game, the Cincinnati game, was the championship and, solidified our conference championship. And so obviously this game was still going to be played no matter who it was. And so to get them ready to go and get them focused, and, we hadn't seen Tulsa all year. This is the first time we've seen them. They actually didn't play with another go-to player of theirs, the other sister. She wasn't here. So obviously they were down one person. But I mean, I think we've always struggled playing that because of Mayberry. I mean, she's number 12. She played 40 minutes. I mean, she had 15 points and she was 4 for 6 from the three. So I mean, I think she's definitely an all-conference player.
So, go ahead.
Coming into the season, what were some of the things and goals that you had for the development of your team? And did you reach those? And what new things did you see that you felt like you had to develop to go deep into the season like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that we wanted to do this season was balanced scoring. I mean, that was one of the things that really hurt us in the NCAA tournament when Diamond went out. It was like nobody was. It wasn't like they didn't want to score, but they weren't used to scoring so much. So now, I tell our team all the time, if we keep, playing the way we're playing, and everybody, obviously Diamond's gonna get her points, and now you got to guard Lish, and sometimes Tay's the leading scorer, and now Brittany's the leading scorer, and Desto's stepping up, and Moss is the leading scorer. Like, we're really hard to guard. You can't really concentrate on just one person anymore. Like when KK was here, like everybody guard KK, even though she still got her 20 every game. But now that we have balanced scoring, I think that was the biggest thing we really worked on all summer long. Is just like we got to get everybody to not be afraid to shoot the ball and score. So I think that, I think that's where we are right now. I think that everybody will step up, and that's what Destiny did today. And then your second question was?
What things do you see that you want to develop going deep?
Probably to be able to continue to press, and figure out how we're going to, be able to do that. It's going to be hard to do that in the conference tournament because you have to play back-to-back, depending on, who we're playing, have no idea. But, just going into the NCAA tournament too, we're everybody's been there, so it's not going to be this big shock, this huge stage, So I think just going, obviously I'm never look ahead, but just moving forward, just be able to play our complete game, like, be able to continue to press, no matter who the team is, be able to have balanced scoring. So, tonight we couldn't press, so that was kind of a different game plan for us a little bit.
You mentioned the squad's versatility. I kind of want to ask you this from kind of a coaching perspective. Kind of a standing rule, if when you're preparing for a game as a coach, is to take away their best weapon first.
Yes.
From your perspective, is it a matter of kind of lacking a better term, knowing or guessing what it is they're going to try to take away from you, and then let that versatility kind of take over? Is that kind of the approach? Or
yeah, obviously we're trying to control their go-to players. That freshman for them is really good. Number 2, she's a freshman. She's really good. She had 18 points. So we're trying to. We knew that she was a go-to player. We knew that 12 was a go-to player for them. And then, people are playing us differently. They played a little bit of man. They played a little bit of zone. They played completely off of Tay. They played completely off of our post players at the high post, and that's weird. That's like, ooh, and so we just talked about at halftime, just having some patience on offense. You're open, clearly. You don't have to shoot the first one if you're not, like, in rhythm and getting ready to shoot the ball. So, I think every coach has a different game plan. That game plan is a hard one because when you play off of people, that's tough. They did a really good job. They play hard. They play super hard.
yeah, I was about to say we mentioned the pretty basketball and the threes, but they were definitely tough too.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
One last thing. I'm sorry, I forgot
Yep.
it. We've talked a bit before about gaps in time between games kind of being an issue. I got to ask, what the first round bye, what challenge that could bring for you in setting up, since that'll be a pretty big gap before you hit the court again.
Yeah, I'm going to give them 2 days off. We need to heal a little bit. A lot of people are sore and tired, and not tired. If they had to play tomorrow, they'd play tomorrow. But I'm saying we got to kind of give them some time off a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of them. That's not obvious, but they have a lot of not finals, but quizzes or
Homework, midterms.
Huh?
Homework,
yeah,
tests.
midterms and things. Like, they got a lot coming up in the next 2 days before we go to the conference tournament and spring break. So they're gonna celebrate us on Friday at the baseball. So we'll have that, and then we'll practice Saturday, and then we'll leave. But I think it's okay because the hard part about going to the conference tournament, you don't get to practice on the floor. You don't get to shoot on that floor, right? But that's also a benefit for us because teams that are 3-point shooters and live and die by the 3, you don't get to shoot on that floor until the game day, right? So I think we're a seasoned team. We know that we're going to watch the first game. We're going to see who wins, and then we'll be able to prepare that way. It's not like we're going in there and it's like a whole new situation for us. We'll the first game will be. I think we'll play more our UCF basketball than maybe the other 2 games. If we can make it to the other 2 games, we got to make it there first.